Hey guys, Felicia here. Before we start the show, I want you to do me a quick favor. Can you hit that like button? Can you hit that subscribe button? Can you leave me a written review? If you've been listening to this show, you love this show. If you've had a coaching session with me and you rocking with me and this show has helped you, please let the people know. Please write a review. This helps other people know about the show. Also, go share this with somebody. Don't keep all this goodness to yourself. Because I'm telling you, like even in today's episode, gems are about to be dropped. Don't hoard the gems. Share. The more gems you share, the more gems you'll get. It's the law of the universe. Okay? All right. Now let's start the show. Welcome to the Trill MBA Show. I'm your host, Felicia Ann Rose Anuha, aka the Trillest MBA you will ever know. And I'm here to help you survive and thrive in corporate America by giving you the truth and being as real as only I can be. Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Today is going to be a short episode because I want you to go back and revisit an episode that I previously recorded from season 3, episode 12, The Truth About Performance Improvement Plans, also known as PIPs.
Fucking yes.
The reason why I want to revisit or have a follow-up of this is because I've been working with some clients recently, and I just want to add some additional context to that episode. So if you'd like, pause this episode and go listen to that episode first if you haven't listened to it, or give yourself a refresher. But basically, I'll give a bit of a synopsis so that I can get into what I want to add or follow up on that episode to give more context and more meat. In that episode, I basically break down like what people believe a PIP is, or, you know, what we say a performance improvement plan is, and what actually happens. So everybody wants to say, well, I mean, it should just be a plan to help you do better. But now the reality in the US, and it might be different in other countries, but in the US, these plans are actually a signal to you to exit the organization. Like, they don't want you there no more, and you should leave. That's basically what that means. And I know a lot of people, and I mean, one too many, will always, say that, oh, well, I was an exception, or I know an exception. One thing I understand, there are always exceptions to any rule. And most of the time, I want us to be the exception. But one thing I know about performance improvement plans, or coaching plans, as some organizations like to call them, is that we don't get to be the exception. Okay? Most of the time, we are not the exception. Now, there are some Black women who are extra tenacious and on a mission to prove a point, and extremely type A. And they have beat in performance improvement plans. I know one in particular who not only beat the performance improvement plan, but got promoted after beating the performance improvement plan. And literally, she was only on a plan because of her shitty ass boss that didn't like her. Had issues with her. She was too cocky. But in reality, she backed all that shit up. So there's that. But that's the exception, guys. Most of us, usually there's stuff going on, inside work, outside work. There's a lot of confusion happening around us. And the PIP is just the nail in the coffin. And it's not really intended to help you. But like in that episode, how I talk about here are the things you should do. In particular, there's a couple of things that you also need to think through. And I'm also going to spill some tea on one particular company. I'm not going to say their name, but if you know, you know. And if you email me at ask@trilliumba.com, I will tell you. I will tell you exactly what company it is. But it came to me that this particular company had a particular way of giving out PIPs, but a lot of times the people didn't even know they were really on an action plan. I know, right? It sounds so shitty. So that's what I want to get into today. So first, I want to start off by telling you that if you find yourself in this situation, it's not your fault. You're not crazy. Most of the times, PIPs happen because your manager or your manager's manager just doesn't like you. Or there's somebody in the organization that has juice, and they have the juice and they don't like you. That's usually why a PIP comes about. Most of the time, it has nothing to do with your actual performance.
What?
When you are not performing well, but your people like you, they will try to teach you. They will take the time to coach, train, and develop you. And they will not put you on a performance improvement plan. They will actually work with you and really invest in your development. So I would never take a PIP as a signal that you really are a poor performer. Now, again, there are exceptions. So don't come at me with, but no, that's not really the blah. I don't want to hear it. I've heard it all. The vast majority of time is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the exceptions. I was reading a Reddit thread where basically this guy, I think it's a guy, I don't know, it might be a woman. I think he's used the pronoun he. But this person basically said that their manager put them on 3 performance improvement plans and he beat them all. And I was just like, was HR involved in this? And come to find out, and this is something that I need you to pay attention to, HR had no idea this is happening, and nor does his skip level manager, his boss's boss. So he's reporting to this micromanaging woman, allegedly, based on what I read. And basically she's putting him on these plans, calling them PIPs, making it seem like he could lose his job. But these aren't HR sanctioned. And so something it made me realize like, oh, wow, it's really trash ass managers out here abusing power, which I don't know why I was surprised by this. That's not a surprise. So today I want to walk you through what constitutes a real PIP and then what doesn't constitute a real performance improvement plan. Because the number one signal that this is a real performance improvement plan, a real action plan to push you out the organization is that HR is involved. Okay? So when you meet with your manager or your manager's manager and HR, or they tell you that they've talked to HR, if there's a system involved, if there's talking points and you're like, these are clear talking points, if documentation emails start happening, like if your boss is recapping every conversation in email and CCing her boss, like this is where this is what they're doing. So it can't just be your manager coming to you talking about, this is your plan. You need to improve. You have 30 days. Like, bitch. I wish a bitch would.
What damn?
That's not how that works, guys. And so that made me realize that if this was happening to them, then this is probably happening often. Because here's the thing. Managers, they either lazy or busy. There's no in between. So either they super busy and they don't have time, or they lazy and they don't want to. But here's what managers really don't want to do is involve HR and get involved into this 3 to 6 months of documentation process before you even get talked to, before I even let you know that I'm about to put you on a plan. There's a whole process that happens with HR. And a lot of times, because HR is trying to avoid all this bullshit, because again, this is work to put somebody on a performance improvement plan. Okay. So like, nobody really wants to do this. And that's another reason why it signals that the organization really just wants to get rid of you at this point. Because I really don't have time to micromanage myself through the documentation and paper trail that I need to put together on you so that I can start performance improvement plan process. Like, I don't want to do it. Like, I will try to find you another job in the organization before I go through all that bullshit. Okay? So that's why a lot of times, if you see there's some tension between you and your manager, if you sense like email tone changes, it sounds more documenty, and you know what it is, go talk to your manager and say, look, clearly there's a disconnect. Clearly something's not working. Will you help me roll off this team? That would be the easiest and simplest thing to do. I like working for the company. I want to keep my job. Let's work together. Let's find the win-win. That's literally what you really should do if you see the beginnings of it. Because at that point, they're between 1 to 2 months into their documentation journey by the time your spidey senses start going up. And one big thing that stupid managers do all the time, they start changing their behavior. And this is where if you get an attorney at this point, like attorney Anitra, she'll start working with you to help you build your case against them because they're just dumb and they do stupid things because the whole process is backhanded and stupid. And so when stupid starts doing stupid, it's very easy to catch them up and breaking rules and breaking employment law and doing things that they shouldn't do.
Are you crazy? Or just plain stupid?
Stupid as stupid does, Miss Blue.
I guess.
And this is why I always tell people, if you are at a certain level, and normally I'm talking to people who are in their late 20s, early 30s, making a little money, like you're in low 6-figure range. Listen, I'm telling you, you can afford, and it might be a sacrifice, but you can afford to have an attorney fund. Like, start saving for an attorney. Even if, your attorney is looking over your offer letter, like at this point in your career, you need legal representation. These companies are up to no good. They're on their fuckboy shit, and you have to protect yourself. So mind the business that pays you, right? Now listen, when we come back from the break, I'm going to continue this conversation around like real pips, how they really are happening behind the scenes. And I'm going to give you some language to use to make sure that this is what you're going through when we get back from the break. Hey guys, it's Felicia here. I just want to let you guys know that I really appreciate you listening to the show. Now, if you can do me a huge favor, because listen, life be lifing. If you could do me a huge favor and email me and let me know what topics you would love to hear on the show. That would be very helpful to me. We're going to send out an email and start asking for survey data. If you could fill out that survey, if you've signed up for our freebies or you're on our email list, like we really want to produce shows that are helpful to you, like this one, like the everyday shit that you go through at work and how to get through it. That's the point of the Trill and BA show. And I give it to you real and honest. And I'm always going to do that. I'm never going to change. I couldn't change if I wanted to, y'all. I'm from Victoria, Texas. It just is what it is. But we want to continue to bring you this content, but we want to make sure that we're bringing you the content that you need. So email us at ask@trillandba.com. Look out for an email from us asking you to take our survey because we're working on producing more dope content for you. I appreciate you. Thanks for listening to the show. Thanks for sharing the show and not hoarding it to yourself. Now let's get back to the show. All right, guys, listen. Now, I talked about this Reddit thread I had read where this guy was like, he got these fake pips. And everybody was telling him to go to HR. And like I said before, you should go to an attorney first. Always go to an attorney first. Do not go to HR first. You got to get your strategy together before you go to HR. So, like I said, you can prepare to do battle. Now, what's my motto? Now, if they pay you to come, they're going to pay you to leave. You're going to pay me coming and going. Okay? Okay. So listen, guys. I learned something. Here's the tea. There's this company. It's a huge company. You could say they're a logistics company. You could say they're a cloud computing company. You could say they're a music and entertainment company. There's a lot of things you can say about this company, but one thing that holds true from all the people I know that work at this company, and I mean, I think I've connected to nearly 100 people that work at this company on LinkedIn. This company is hard to work for. They are just the worst. Now, you might grow, you might learn a lot, but it's painful. Now, there's a lot of companies, though, out there that fit this description. So listen, don't come for me. But if you know, you know. So I had a client, one of my friend's mentees, and basically this person was told that, hey, we're going to put you on a coaching plan and we want you to do these things. And it was all laid out, bullet pointed. And they also told this person that they had until, a certain time or, the next steps would happen. But this person, when I would ask them, okay, so give me specifics, they didn't really have a lot of specific things to say. And that concerned me. So when I read the Reddit thread, I was like, oh, is your boss pulling this, thing? Like, I'm going to put you on this fake pip, but I ain't really going to go through the whole process because I don't feel like doing all that, but I want you to improve your behavior or I want you to leave. Well, turns out, here's the tea. At this company, HR is involved, but you don't know it and your manager doesn't tell you.
It ain't right.
Oh, and also they have a whole process. So here's how the process goes. And they have a system and they put this in the system. So your manager puts in, they want to put you on an action plan in a system. I'm not going to name the system, but the system has a name. I know, right? And then it has parts. Like there's names to like the first part is, I'm not going to say the name because that'll give it away. And I don't want to get nobody I know in trouble. Because you'll start looking through my LinkedIn and then you'll start accusing people and that ain't right. But I had somebody on the inside break this down for me and I was like, holy shit. So they've got this system and the manager puts in that they want to put you on a plan and HR has to approve that. So HR is doing this check basically to say, is that legal? Are we going to get sued? And everybody got their guidelines and there's a whole manager training on this system they have to get rid of people or put them on the action plans. So step one is put you in the system, right? So your boss has spent the how many ever weeks documenting to put everything in the system to get approval to start you on a coaching plan. And then the talking points, so HR gives you talking points. And here's the TT. So unless you explicitly ask, are you in this particular program? You don't know if your manager really is just trying to coach you through something or that this is an HR red flag thing. Now, the tell is if your manager says that you cannot apply for other jobs without the approval of the VP or higher up, then that's a tell, and that's because now you're in the system. And so if you got another job in this company, they would have to sign off on it because you're on an action plan and it's all documented.
I had enough of what ain't right.
Now, if you ask point blank, am I on a blank plan? I won't name the plan, but they have a name for this plan. If you ask point blank, am I on this plan? Then your boss has to tell you. But they don't tell you unless you explicitly ask. And I was like, that's the shadiest shit I've ever heard in my life. Why can't you just be honest? And they don't tell what the whole process is. So here's the process. First, they put you on this first plan and give you so long. Then if you don't make it, if your manager doesn't deem, okay, no, they did it, they're up to speed, their expectations, they can stay. If they say, okay, well, no, they didn't make it, then they'll offer you a severance and bid you adieu. Or you can try to now go on this other plan that has another name. It's like an extension, and then you have to meet that plan. And so if you decide to do that instead of take the severance at that level, when you don't make the next level of plan, then you're offered a lesser severance, or you can appeal, which I think is stupid. This is so dumb. So when you appeal, then you can go before a panel that they pick, and your manager pleads, I'm just going to say her case, and then you plead your case in front of this panel, and then they make the final decision. And if they decide you're terminated, then you don't get anything. And you just have to walk away. And some people really be trying to fight. And I'm like, sir, ma'am, take your money and go about your business. That's the best thing for you to do. I know it sucks. But when I was told this information, it was broken down for me. Like, the people managers know this information. HR knows this information. But you as a worker bee, unless you explicitly ask or somebody hips you the game, you don't know this. And you just going through this BS process. I just think this is dumb. But I want to let y'all know, every company, every large company has a process in place. And part of this process is to make sure that they're not sued. It's to protect the company. And HR is responsible with HR and legal together, employment lawyers and outside counsel. Like, they've got their lawyers and HR experts building these systems to cancel people out of the organization. Now, understandable, there are some times where people just are not up to snuff, right? Like, they're not good employees. Fine, get rid of them. Perfect. But the problem is, a lot of times, managers, because they're human, they make these emotionally driven decisions and then try to make it objective when it's highly subjective and it is not achievable. And they don't want to make it achievable, and they're not trying to help you. And so that's the thing that I need you to understand. When you're in these coaching things, your manager has to help you. You cannot put somebody on a plan and then actively work for them to fail. You can't set somebody up for failure and then say, oh, you failed. You can't do that. That's a hostile work environment. It's harassment. It's all kinds of things. It's wrongful termination. So this is why you need an attorney to help you set all this up if you find yourself in this situation, because there's things that you need to ask for, like help. There's things you need to clarify. There's things you need to call out if it's subjective. You need to document all of these things. This is a better use of your time to fight a PIP than, just putting your head down and trying to work through it and all the answers, because you can do all the work. But if, like the situation I had in my younger days, like you're telling me to do one thing and I go do that, and then you come back and say, nope, that's not what I told you to do. I was like, wow, that's real shitty. But, the hate for Black people is real. So, yeah, y'all. But listen, I'm going to take one more quick break. And when we get back, I'm going to tell you the most important, how you need to handle these situations when we get back. Hey there, travel enthusiasts. Are you tired of struggling to find hair and skincare products that cater to your unique needs while on the go? Look no further than blacktravelbox.com. Black Travel Box is your one-stop shop for travel-sized natural hair and skincare products, specifically curated for Black travelers. No more settling for generic products that don't work for your hair type or skin tone. Whether you're jet setting to a tropical island or embarking on a cross-country road trip, Black Travel Box has you covered with their convenient and TSA-approved travel kit. Plus, by supporting Black Travel Box, you're not just getting high-quality products, but you're also supporting a Black-owned business that is dedicated to promoting inclusivity in the travel industry. So, travel in confidence, style, and grace with Black Travel Box. Visit blacktravelbox.com now and get ready to slay your next trip. Don't let your beauty routine suffer while you explore the world. And hey guys, let me tell you, Black Travel Box products are amazing, especially that body butter. Listen, I got a promo code for you. Use the code JETSET. That's JETSET, all caps, JETSET. And you can get a discount from Black Travel Box because of who? The Trillist MBA. Happy travels, beautiful people. Now, let's get back to the show. And we are back. If you have not gotten that Black Travel Box, listen, that body butter stuff, I love it. It's my shit. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up because I didn't really mean to be here this long. It was just supposed to be a follow-up. Most important thing. But the most important thing that you need to understand in this whole situation is when to take the money and go and when to fight. So there are times where you should fight and you're gonna get a good payout, a good settlement. And it's when the company's not held up their end of the bargain or have broken rules and laws like EEOC law or the labor laws. Like if you go on a protective leave, the company's not restructuring formally. So there are times where you are on a protective leave and you don't have performance issues. If you come back and there's issues, that's a problem. That's a red flag. There's procedures, there's policies, there's a way they have to work to let you go. They can't just, you come back and you're like, yeah, no, you ain't got no job. Like, wait, what? That's not okay. And so that happens. So my favorite thing is the whole severance thing. And this is probably the most important thing to understand. How does this severance thing work? Well, the reason why they want to just give you a little something, Because they want you to sign a piece of paper to say you will go away, you will never come back, you will not sue them for anything. And for women who are Black, like myself, we are in a protected class twice over. Your gender and your race, those are two protected classes. So a lot of times they will pay you out to sign that paper so you'll go the fuck away. And it's just cheaper to do that and pay you a few weeks, even a few months. Get the fuck out. Don't pass go. Do not collect $200. Take this check. Don't talk about us. We ain't gonna talk about you. They don't want you to talk about the experience you had. They basically don't want you to write no books. Like, they don't want you to say shit about them. And in return, here's this check. Also, you ain't gonna sue us. And a lot of times I realize, like, why do they do that? But think about it. As many people as they fuck over every year, it's a lot of class action lawsuits that probably should be going down, but they don't because a lot of people have signed these severance agreements and they can't be a party to a class action with employees because the patterns of behavior are there. So that's why you can get severance. So a lot of times, let's say you were having a tough time, your performance was okay, you're having a tough time at your job, you and your manager were beefing, you know this bitch about to put you on a PIP. It's so easy to walk into HR and be like, listen, this ain't working. What are my options? And they'll be like, And then they'll be like, let me get back to you. They go do they talking, whatever they shit they do behind closed doors. And then next thing you know, well, we're prepared to and offer you a little something. Anywhere from a month, 2 months, 3 months. Listen. And the cool thing is, if you already got a job kind of lined up, you know, another thing about to come through, it's so clutch. Because then you 2 checks. That's my favorite thing to be, is having 2 checks come in at the same time. Like, I love that shit. I love that for me. I love that for y'all. I love that for us. Because these companies are what? Fuck boys. I don't care. I don't care no more. I don't care. Because they don't care about you. The sooner we get honest about this, that people are allowed to have horrible behavior in these places called companies and mistreat people horribly and get away with all kinds of bullshit, the sooner we'll all be free. The sooner we all just admit that this is what's happening. And when you can find a manager, a good manager to make it better, that's great. But most of y'all managers out there are trash. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. Like, y'all can have the best of intentions, but sometimes those good intentions just fall flat. Even when your direct reports are crazy and they wrong, your best intentions and it still ain't going to work. So don't get me wrong. I get it. Sometimes y'all employees are trash. Like, listen, sometimes the employee is trash too. I mean, we're all employees. But some people managers shouldn't be people managers. And some of y'all employees, y'all are crazy. And y'all mistreat your people manager. And then you wonder why your people manager act the way they act. Well, if you didn't talk to them crazy, they wouldn't do that. I digress. Let me come back. But my point is, listen, if you get offered severance or you want to go after severance, like, all you gotta do is go to HR and be like, hey, this ain't working. What are my options? They'll figure something out for you according on your level. And the higher up you are, the more money you're going to get. But understand, in order to get that money, you're going to have to sign a piece of paper. So if you don't ever want to tell your story, you don't care to tell your story, sign that paper, get your check, go on about your business. You'll be all right. You know, I have to be honest with y'all. I'm real jaded by this whole thing that we do to each other. Like, it really grates on me. It even grated on me in the previous episode, and that was like 4 years ago. It still grates on me today. But, you know, ain't nothing new under the sun, guys. So I don't think this behavior is going to change anytime soon. This is policy. People have whole systems built in their organizations to handle this process, to manage talent out. So, you know, you're not alone. Keep your head up. Get your money. And you're not gonna lose. You're not losing. These are just lessons. You either learn or you win. sometimes you learn and win at the same time. So keep your head up and find good soil to be in so you'll grow. All right, listen, I didn't mean for this episode to be this long, but if you have any questions, concerns, you need some advice, you can always hit us up at ask@trillingva.com. Definitely appreciate y'all sending me emails over the last couple of weeks. Just encouragement. I appreciate y'all for that, and it has not gone unnoticed. Thank you. We in this thing together. And if you need any advice or help on your particular situation, you can go to trillingva.com/coaching, set up a 45-minute consultation with me. They are not free because I be really helping folks. So, hey, time is money, baby. But I got you. I'm happy to help. Or if you feel like, hey, I really do want a coaching package, I have a couple coaching packages available for, 3 or 6 sessions. And that really is a lot of deep work according on what your situation is. So you can also set up a consult with me to see what package may work best for you. You can do all that at trillingva.com/coaching. Again, trillingva.com/coaching. If you want a one-on-one session or you want to schedule about a coaching package, we can talk about that. Or you can always email me at ask@trillingva.com. Now listen, if you write me a long email, it's going to take me a couple days to get back to you because I have ADHD. I have to start and come back and reread it and figure out what the response is. It takes me a minute, but I'm always going to respond. So yeah, guys, listen, you're going to have a great week this week. You're going to do dope shit. You're going to put great shit on your resume, and you're going to be awesome. Because you listen to this show. You have no choice. All right, guys. Until next time, keep it true.
The Trill and BA Show is a Fair World Corp. LLC production. Executive produced by Felicia and Rose Inuha. Sound design and editing by Chris Mann with Podshaper. Theme music is Kick Push by Brian Little. Keep it trill every day, y'all.